Hello and welcome to Testify. I'm your host, Nona Best, and tonight we are talking to an amazing attorney, Evelyn Uba. Perseverance and persistence, believing in a promise and a dream, and determined not to give up. You are going to hear the story of someone who was so determined to reach her dreams and accomplish her goals of becoming an attorney that she had to take the bar not four times, not five times, not six times. And guess what? You're going to have to tune in to see exactly how many times she was willing to take the bar exam to become an attorney. An amazing story of an amazing woman who is persistent, who will persevere to reach her dreams. Come on in now to testify. Call your friends, share, tag. Let's hear this story of Evelyn Uba, who was determined to become an attorney and had to take that bar, not four times, not five times, not six times, but you tune in and see how many times she actually took the bar to become an attorney. And then you will tell yourself, there is nothing that I can't do. Let's tune in now and hear the testimony of Evelyn Uba. Good afternoon, and we have Evelyn with us tonight. We thank you so much for joining us all the way from California. So tonight we have a very interesting and amazing story from an amazing woman, Evelyn, who was determined to become a lawyer. She did not let anything or anybody deter her. And tonight she's going to give us her testimony, and it's going to be an amazing testimony. And like I said in the introduction, after hearing this testimony, there won't be anything you'll tell yourself that you can't do. Hi, Evelyn. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Nona. Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've been thinking about this all day. Today's the day that I get to talk to this amazing woman. The secret is in the introduction, I didn't tell anybody how many times you took the bar exam. I just said four or five. Let's see. You got to tune in to see how many times. So that's going to be our high point of the story. So, but right now we're going to start off to get to know Evelyn a little bit. Let's go back to when the dream or the vision of being an attorney first came about.
Okay, so the dream came while I was in high school. I think I was about 12. And I'm from Nigeria. So you say that in Nigeria, you see that you're a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, a nurse. So, so I chose to be an attorney. So that had been my dream. And then, of course, my dad and my mom, they nurtured the dream by pushing and saying, okay, you're going to be an attorney when you grow up. So that's how it started from high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they started prepping me to start my journey in America. And that's what happened. So it was supposed
So,
to be a 7-year journey after
uh,
high school.
did you want
Which,
to be an attorney, or you just went on the journey?
well, I wanted to be an attorney. Yeah, I just
Okay.
claimed it, and that's all I wanted to be. I didn't want to be anything else. And then everybody around me was calling me the young lawyer, and they said I act like one and I talk like one. So
That if you
that's all
hear
I
it long
needed.
enough, you'll believe it, right?
Yes, 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 yes. So that's what I was like, I'm gonna go to college to go to law school and be an attorney. I didn't want anything else.
So when did you come to America?
I came to America in '83
Okay.
to just to go to high school. I mean, just to go to college. And like I said, it was supposed to be a 7-year journey, which is 4 years of undergrad and then another 3 years of law school, which
Right.
at that time we thought it was too long for 7 years in America.
Too long, huh?
Yeah, that's what they thought. That's what I thought, and that's what my parents thought. But little did we know that it was gonna be long journey.
Okay. Well, tell us about that journey. I guess I'm thinking it turned out to be more than 7 years.
Definitely. Yeah. So the journey, like I said, I was supposed to be a 7-year journey, which is get my first degree in something, which I chose to have my first degree in business management, and then 3 years of law school, and then head back home. I was a foreign student, so I wasn't supposed to stay here. I was supposed to go to school and go back.
Okay.
But like, so after I got my first degree, my senior year, my dad got sick. And as a foreign student, you can't, he has to send money from home. I wasn't eligible to like financial aid or anything. So um, everything was being sent from home, from my feeding to clothing. I wasn't allowed to work. So when he got sick, everything changed
Oh,
after my first degree. But I was still thinking I was going to continue going because the young 20-year-old didn't think that. It was just like, hurry up, get better so I could go back to law school. That was what I was hoping for. Um, so I went ahead and I found a law school, which he didn't like. He said he didn't like the school. So that was kind of put aside. And I said, okay, I'll wait for you to get better. Then I'll go to the law school that you wanted me to go. He wanted me to go to like an ABA. And, I started calling and found things out. And eventually I had to wait. And as I was waiting, I got older. I figured I might as well get married and start having kids. He didn't like that. He's like, why don't you just come on home? It will be cheaper and it will be easier for me to fund your law school in Nigeria. But having been here for a minute, I've been here for like 4 or 5 years, I got used to the American system, and especially being a woman,
yeah.
because back in Nigeria, women are treated differently. It's better now, but it was worse then. So
Mhm.
I said, here I see women driving buses. I mean, women are more independent, and I am very independent person. So I said, there's no way I could stay here and then go back to Nigeria to be. To me, it was like going backwards. I didn't
Yeah.
want that. So I promised him that we'll find a way to make sure that I stay on course and go to law school. Still hoping that he was gonna get better. But anyway, uh, got married, and like I said, he didn't really want me to get married. He thought I should just finish law school before I do that. But I had to promise him that I will not give up on that dream or the plans.
Are you an only child?
No, I
No.
have brothers. I have
Never.
other siblings. So long story short, a month after I got married, I went back home and got married. And a month after that, I came back and he passed.
Oh.
And I had promised him that I will continue to finish what he sent me to America to do. So that stuck with me. Like I had made this promise. I wanted to go to law school. I never really wanted anything else, but for the promise, maybe I would have deviated and do something else. But
Right.
because I had promised him, and I love my dad so much,
It
I'm
made
a
a
daddy's
difference.
girl.
Yeah,
I
and I can tell you loved your dad because when
love
dad
my
said go
dad more
left, you
than
went
it.
left. When dad said jump, you jump. Dad
Yeah,
was giving you all the directions. So that promise
yeah.
was important. That promise was
He was
really
making
important.
all my plans.
Yeah,
If he said do, I do. He came to America, he found the school, he did everything.
he
He
did
found
everything.
me tutor to make sure that I took English as a second language. So he prepped me at the age of 16. So I couldn't disappoint him. I mean, somebody that taking care of you, doing everything. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah.
And Nigerian culture too, your parents, especially your dad, is like God.
He's
So
he's the king of the castle.
he's the
No
king
matter
of
where you're
what is
at, you're still in the
exactly.
castle.
Even if I'm miles away, people are like, oh, why don't you do this? I'm like, with my dad. They're like, but he's not here. I'm like, you don't understand. You don't
I'm sure your
understand.
American friends didn't understand that.
They
They
didn't
was like,
understand.
your
Now I know
dad.
why. Now that I have kids, I'm like, because they're like, oh, you're already 18. You don't have to. I'm like, what do you mean? He's paying the bill. Even if he wasn't paying the bill, I would still do whatever he says because that's how I grew up.
Yeah,
Because you trust your parents to make decisions for you. So there's no way he could have told me something that was wrong for me. So whatever he said to do to me, he's done the research. And
right.
he's my dad. So if he says do it, then I know it's the right thing to do. Then I'll do it. I don't care what anybody else says. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's what happened. So after he passed, it kind of killed me. I said, okay. And I never gave up the hope. So that stuck in my head, like, how can I get this done? And then I kept doing everything, but my eyes was like on the law school. I keep looking for things, trying to figure it out. Eventually, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait, just do the mommy thing first, finish that up. As soon as I had my last child, I had 4 children. my baby turned 2. I'm like, okay, time to go. So I told my husband, I said, I was depressed. I'm like, I need to do this. I had it like hanging over my shoulder, like I need to go to law school. And I wanted to go to law school too, not just for my dad, but that's the only thing I wanted. I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to be a police officer. I don't want to be anything but a lawyer.
For the
And that's
lawyer.
what I came here for. I like to finish what I started.
Right.
So, so that's what happened. So after she turned 2, and I went back to school, and it was part-time, full-time job. And
That's what I was looking at. I was like, now she's a mother, she has kids, she's working, she's trying to go to school, and this is serious school, and now she's, you know, a little bit older than what it, you know, the original plan was.
Oh, yes.
So that threw a wrench in a lot of things, but you kept fighting and kept rising.
I kept fighting. I went back to law school. I believe it was like 17 years after I graduated. I had my undergrad. So it was a long time.
A long time.
A long time.
I know, because I went back and got my master's in my 50s. It's not easy.
It's not easy because you can't, I mean, it's like, not only are you worried about the children, you're worried about your job, and then your brain is not capturing things, and you're tired, and you're reading things like more than 2-3 times before you comprehend it, because you're reading and you're thinking about this bill or this child, or, you know, the mind is everywhere. But
you got so many things on your plate, you know, it's like, okay, let me get dinner done, and then I need to run this errand, and then I'm going to try to read 4 chapters, and oh my gosh.
And while you're reading 4 chapters, you're in chapter 1, and you're thinking about, oh, I didn't pay this bill, or you're thinking about something else. And then 10 minutes later, you came back and said, what was I reading? So it took longer time to do things, you know, but it didn't stop me.
Right. So we're 17 years after the undergrad. You started law school. Where'd you go to law school?
I went to law school at California Southern. It's in Riverside. It's a small school. It's now closed, but it's a smaller school. It's close to home, close to work. It was perfect for me. It was meant for me.
Okay.
So, and then you pay as you go. So there was no like financial aid. Everything was just like, it was designed for somebody like me.
Oh.
But it was hard.
It was hard. So you went to, that was your law school. You went how many years?
4 years.
4 years.
It was supposed 4 years total that I attended, but I did the first year, and then I took off for 2 years, and then I went back. And did another 3 years. So it was like 6 years journey, but it was total 4 years.
Oh my gosh. So 17 years before you start, you do 2 years, you take another break.
1 year. I did 1 year because my school, you have to take the baby bar. So I had to take off, try to pass the baby bar. You know, and in between, you know, like, okay, this is not the time. And then once I finally get the baby bar thing off the way, then I went back 2 years later.
Oh, okay. So now we're in law school. You're coming out. When did you graduate from law school?
2011.
2011.
11.
What was that like? Who was there? What did you do? What was it like?
It was hard doing, you know, going through that. You know, at the point I thought I wasn't going to finish in my 3rd year. I almost, you know, things happened and I almost took another break. But I had some amazing professors that wouldn't let me take another break, and the school didn't allow part-time. Like, you're taking 3 classes, that's it. You can't make it 2, you can't make it 1. You just have to stay with it.
3.
You gotta take those 3 classes.
At your minimum.
That's it. So I'm like, okay. So I had to hang in there, you know, did what I have to do. And then, yes, when I graduated, the children, everybody was happy. It was a big old celebration. And I was like, if I could just finish, just to get my JD, then the bar is another hurdle that I can wait on that. I just wanted to get my JD.
Did your family come from Nigeria?
No, they didn't. Well, I have family here. I have some family here now. My brothers are here. My mom is here. My mom is like the rock. She has been here. She's been helping out. Like, if she wasn't for her, I don't think I would have gone back to law school. So she was here to help with the children, make sure that they do their homework, you know, like, she was here to help make sure the dinner was there. So for the most part, but she goes back and forth, but for the most part, she was here and did what she could, but the other things, then I can do them. But she was very helpful, and she's still here.
And that's so you was working during that time too, right? Going to law school full time.
Full time.
Were your kids in high school?
No. Well, I have them from, I believe, middle school. When I went back, I think it was from middle school to no school because the baby was 2.
Oh,
so,
you're
but when
so
I
brave, Evelyn. You're so brave.
graduated,
You're my shiro. You're so brave. Oh my God. That is just amazing. And you were in your 30s
yes,
with a 2-year-old and 3 older ones, mom, working full time, but still pushing on daddy's dream or,
yes,
or daddy's mandate your dream.
but yes, my
Daddy's
yeah, he's
mandating your dream. So
yes.
you graduated, and then you had this big celebration. Just tell me a little bit more about that day. Do you what you remember most about that day?
I mean, the graduation or the passing the bar? The graduation day.
Graduation.
The graduation day was so, I felt like I was in heaven because it's like I never thought I'll have my JD. I mean, that was a dream. Finally, it's like I have my JD now. I don't have the license, but I have my JD. I finished. It
Right.
was a long journey. So my mom was there, my brothers. It was nice, some friends, not everybody, but a lot of close friends. And especially looking at my kids, they were proud. Mom finally finished. So it was really, really nice. It was
Yeah, I
it was
bet you it was
amazing.
amazing for
It was
them to
amazing. It
see
was
you
it. Yeah.
accomplish that and and
Hmm.
and really encourage them because now they have no excuse.
Oh
When they have someone paving the way like you, they have no excuse to quit, stop,
no,
don't start back, and all that.
no. And they're
Now,
doing great. My kids are doing wonderful. I couldn't ask for anything better than what I have right now with my children. They are awesome.
do they
Because
want to be lawyers?
my oldest is a lawyer. She got her license before me. She got her license 2019.
Oh my God. That's
Yes,
okay. That's okay.
that's okay.
We're still
Yes.
on the road.
Hmm.
We're still
Hmm.
on the journey. Okay,
Yes.
so we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back. And Evelyn is going to tell us about her journey to get licensed as an attorney. So we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Evelyn is here. We are at the part where she has graduated from college and she has her JD, and now she has to pursue getting her license. So now you said that you were going to wait a little while. How long did you wait before you took the test the first time?
Oh, I took it the first time. I took it right away.
Oh, you took it.
No, but my wish when I graduated was let me just at least graduate and then I could worry about the bar later, but I didn't wait. I took it like I graduated in May of 2011, and then I took the bar July. So
Oh.
I took the from because they said it's good to just take it right away. So I did.
And how was it?
I didn't pass.
I
It
know you
was
didn't
hard.
pass, but how was it
I don't,
shocking to you the difficulty of it, or did you think it
no, it's
was okay?
just I'm like, okay, this is not as bad because I was scared of it because everybody talks about California bar. And I was like, let me just go see what this is like. So I was excited. I mean, it was hard to get ready for it because that was the very first time I took a prep course. I had to, I took like I believe I was off like 3 weeks or 4 weeks from my job. I took a break, a vacation. And I was studying like 10 hours a day trying to take this prep course. I was like, and it was online. It was hard. It was hard. After a while, I'm like, whoa, this is good. I don't know. But yeah. So I took the prep course and of course I didn't pass. So after that, I stopped taking the prep course. I just kept the material and I just kept studying, by myself. I never studied with anybody because even while I was in law school, I couldn't partner with anybody to share notes or, um, discuss cases or anything like
Mhm.
that, they encourage you to do. Because I don't have the time. I go to work, Monday through Friday, I'm busy. And then the little time I have, I spend with the children. And then the other little time I have, I, deprive myself of sleep and then study, so
Yeah.
there's no time to have somebody at my house at maybe 1 a.m. to discuss cases or study together.
Right, right. And then you
I
got to
didn't have
stick
enough
in some
time.
self-care in there just so you can keep going.
Hmm.
So, okay, this journey here, I just when I saw the story and I talked to you about it, I'm like, okay, I remember when I was in the military and I had to take tests for promotion in rank. And when I got up to the highest one, E6, um, I was on my third test. And I didn't even want to take the third test. I was like, well, maybe this just isn't for me. I can because I never had actually not passed something multiple times. So it really worked on me emotionally
Hmm.
of why can't I pass this test that I need to pass for my job? So how did it work on you emotionally? How did you feel, let's say after, because I already said the fourth and fifth time, how did you feel after that make you say it's not over? How did you get to that point?
First of all, the third time I almost passed it, the third time. And
Mhm.
this is just me doing my thing, no help from anybody, just me studying by myself, doing everything by myself, just self-study. Never had a partner, not because I didn't want, I just couldn't. I didn't
Right.
have the time. So doing what I was doing on my own without prep courses after the first time, when I was closing third time, I'm like, I could do this. So when it didn't happen after that, I kept going the 10th time, the 11th time. It's a lot of long time.
Hmm.
What did it for me was faith.
Faith.
It was my faith in God. And I believed, and this is what I keep saying because I said, my children are my priority. And they were still like young and they were moving on. I got the first one in college and, everybody was just moving on, doing what they have to do. And then I still have the little one. So I said, if God wanted me to pass this, I said, there has to be a reason because if he wanted me to pass it, all I needed was maybe 2 or 3 multiple choices and I could have passed it the third time. But the fact that I came close, that told me that God must have something in store for me. Why give me it's like a tease? Oh, you can have this, but not now.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Like you
then
can see it.
I just
Take you to the mountaintop and you can see it down there. It's just two more questions. It's just three more questions.
how can you do that to me? I said, so I said to myself, there has to be, it's not the right time yet because he probably wants me to take care of the children first. He probably want my kids to be out, like grown in college and then done, and then I could do the law thing because when I start doing something, especially when I'm passionate, I immerse myself into whatever it is. And my children is something that there's no way, there's no compromise. They have to come first. I don't care if it's my job. I don't care if it's whatever it is, the kids. Because to me, if I mess my kids up, what else do I have? I don't
Yeah,
have anything else.
yeah.
They're my world. So if I look back, I'm like, I left Nigeria to come here to go to school, and now I have these children here. If they mess up or if something happened because I'm busy pursuing something, I can't, there's no money in the world to fix it. I mean, I can't fix it. It might be emotional, whatever it is, once the damage is done, you might try to fix it, but it's never the same. And I didn't want that. So I
That's
wanted to be,
That is amazing. That is an amazing philosophy that I think more parents need to focus on because a lot of times, like you said, we're trying to do it parallel. We're trying to run after our dreams and raise the kids at the same time, and just hope it we all get to the finish line together in one
mm-mm,
piece. But
no,
no, that's
something
not
gotta
really
give.
how it works.
Something gotta give. I gave up certain things like some jobs, something that, because to me, if I make all the money in the whole wide world and I'm rich and I'm this, and then I look at my kids, they're doing drugs on the street or something, I'm not, then I've failed as a parent. And that's one thing I didn't want to, be a failure in, is
Mhm.
a mother. My parents were awesome, and I wanted to give my kids, I couldn't even do half of what they did for me. I had awesome childhood, and I wanted to make sure that I did decent for my children, because the way I looked at it, if I fail my kids, the more I think about it, if my parents have to pay for me and bring me here to go to school, they sacrificed. They
Mhm.
sacrificed a lot of things, and the money they poured into just for my education. The longer I stay here, the more I start seeing like things that I took for granted. I'm like, oh yeah, you just send money. Now I'm like, people are getting financial aid, and here I am asking for cash. So
Yeah.
looking at that, I'm like, if they did all that for me, the least I could do for my children is to give them everything I could, the
Right.
best I could. It doesn't have to be money, but of course I work to provide, but I have to be there emotionally, physically, everything.
Right.
That was my job as a mother.
Right.
I'm not like a 20-year-old mom. I'm 30, 40. I mean, that's my job. That's my job now, is to be a good mom. And then if my career doesn't take off, oh well, I had my chance. That's how I
Right.
look at it. I had my chance. It's not their fault that I didn't finish law school before I had them. That was the plan. But now that things has changed and I have them, I have to take care of them and just do something, do my own thing. Like maybe it could take longer, but I don't care as long as it happens. But I will just have to keep going.
Right.
So to answer your question, what kept me going was just looking at my kids and knowing that God has plans. Because if He didn't want me to have my license, this is how I talk. This is how because I talk to God sometimes. I'm like,
You
why
have to
did you
talk to
put it?
God all the time.
I
You
have to talk to him. I said,
That's the only way
why?
you can make it nowadays. You got to talk to him all the time, and you don't understand what he's saying all the time either. You're like, okay, really? Is this what you want
Yeah,
me to
I'm
do?
like, give me a sign. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I like that sign, but okay.
I know
So
this
I'm
is
like,
the fifth time. This is the sixth time. Show me another sign.
yeah.
Go
So
back
I
again.
said, if He didn't want me to have it, he should have messed, He has all the powers. He could have changed my mind and not even have me go to law school. He could have just changed my mind and say, okay, your dad is deceased. Okay, you wanted to go to law school, take another path. He could
Right.
have done that, but He didn't. He allowed me to nurture the dream. He allowed me to spend money to go to law school. He allowed me to deprive myself of sleep, sleep, a lot of things just to
I
get
know.
my law degree. And now I'm not going to practice. I said, no, He has plans. I'm not giving up. That I'm going to keep going. It's not His time. And then my kids at the time started saying the same thing. Maybe God has some plans. If it's not this time, maybe it's not time yet. And I just say, okay, I'm gonna keep going, because I mean, what else could I do with my license? Or what else could I do with myself? There's nothing else I wanted to do.
No.
Nothing.
So did you take the exam like once a year, every year?
Twice a year, but not every year. Some years, depending on what's going on, because again, like I said, I'm a mom. Sometimes maybe the child, if a child is graduating from high school or college, I didn't take it because it's administered like February and July of each year.
Mhm.
So twice a year. So if I have a child graduating from high school that year, I know I'm not going to have time to study because maybe there's a party coming on for the kid. So the kids come first, but not for their birthdays. I didn't give it up for their birthdays. I gave it up for
But anything
something.
else but the birthday, you're on your own for your birthday.
Sometimes I'm taking it on my baby's birthday because her birthday is in July. I'm like, well, sorry, we could celebrate. And then I have another one in March. Sometimes, I'm taking it and it's her birthday, that March is like, well, sorry, because February, yeah. So they know we could celebrate, but if it's something like graduation, or maybe somebody is having a wedding or something very
Yeah.
important, then I'll just say, okay, I'm not gonna take it because let me just give myself time to be with the family. Then I won't take it.
Did you have to pay each time you took it?
Yes. Bar
Oh,
exam is money making machine. Each time you have to take it, you gotta pay at least $1,000 or so. Yes, just to
wow.
register.
So you had
And
to
then
work and save and still study
ah,
and take the. Oh, Evelyn, you put so much into this. Let's go ahead and we're going to still talk about it, but I want you to go ahead and give the final number of times you took the bar exam before you passed.
I stopped counting, but I want to say 12 or 13 times.
12? I thought
It
it
could
was
be 12.
10.
I know it's more than 10, at least 10. It could be 12 because I graduated 2011. So if I took it every time, that would be 18 times, but I didn't. So
You
I'm
have
saying
just
that,
taken my breath away because see,
yeah,
I'm thinking all this while she took the bar exam 10 times and it's more than 10 times.
it's more than
Yeah.
10 times.
I,
It took me
I
9
am a
years.
faith believer, Evelyn. I believe I believe in the Lord God. He is my Savior. He would have had to come visit me. He would have had to I don't. Oh my gosh, Evelyn, that's amazing. That I've never seen that much determination. I've just never seen that much.
Because that's all I wanted. You know, let me tell you this. I have, you know, my second daughter. She said to me once, and I will never forget this. She was in middle school. Now she's a graduate, okay? She's a graduate. She has her bachelor's and stuff and getting ready to go to law school herself. And she said, Mom, I think that was after my third time, you know, when I didn't pass. And I was so upset. I was so down. And she said, Mom, if you give up now, what would you have to prove for all this time you went to school? All the money you poured into going to law school, all the time you didn't sleep, all the time you didn't go to parties or weddings, all the time you skipped family functions. What do you have
all
to
the
show for it?
sacrifices.
All the sacrifice. What do you
Yeah.
got to show for it? You have nothing to show for it. You just like quit. You can't do that. That stayed in my head.
That stayed in your head. So what year and at what age was your final test?
My final test was 2020, October 2020.
During the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
God, look at God, look at God.
And I almost didn't take it because of pandemic. Almost, I'm like, let me
Almost,
see.
yeah, because that would have been the
Almost.
year everybody would have skipped.
Because when I first, what happened was, like I said, my daughter passed it in 2019. My oldest. She took it the first time and the last time. First and passed.
Wow.
Boom. She did it.
She seen you do it enough times. She had enough practice.
Yes, and I was like, you go get them for me, babe. You go get them for me. Because at that point, she's like, I don't know about this. Mom has been taking this. It might be hard. I say, you know what? Just remember, I'm older. I have this and I have that. I say, you don't have children. You don't have, you're not working. You're just a full-time student and you're young.
Right.
And then you could partner with people. Don't look at me. Don't use me to, I know California bar, the passing rate is not that good. It's like 30%, 20%, 27%. If you're good on a good day, I think maybe twice or three times they've done like 60 to 50 to 60. So it's mostly 27%. So everybody's scared of California and New York bar.
Right.
Other states is different. So anyway, so I told her, I said, don't worry about it. Just just go do your thing because you got this. So she did. And I almost didn't take it because I didn't want her, because I had some anxiety because she was taking it and I would be taking it. But at the end she's like, no, take it with me, Mom. So I took it. Of course, she passed and I didn't. So we celebrated her. And I told myself, January 2020, I woke up one day, I said, I'm going to gift myself I'm going to give myself with time, like 6 months, to start studying this year, 2020, to take the July exam. I'm not going to take it in February. I'm going to skip the February one and I'll take it July, but I'm going to start studying and I'm going to take a prep course because my daughter took a prep course and she was like, this is good. And I saw a little bit of it and like, this is good. So now that the children are older, I can actually invest in myself and pay for this prep course and give myself time because I'm not going to take it in 8 weeks or 6 weeks or no, it's going to have to be stretched out.
Right.
So that was my New Year resolution for myself, that I'm going to give myself time. And I found out when I took it in 2019 with my daughter by looking at some of her materials that certain laws has changed. And because I wasn't taking any prep course and I'm still using my old material, I didn't know about that.
Gotta catch up, Evelyn, gotta catch up.
Yeah, I said, maybe this is why I haven't been passing because I'm still doing the old stuff. They're like, no, you're dating yourself because that law is already gone. So it helped me a lot that I took it with her so I could find some new fresh materials. And so I did this, I took the same course that she took because she was like, Mom, this is really easy, not easy, but she liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of the prep course. It was one of those you never heard of, but it's nice. But because she passed, I'm like, okay. And I saw certain things. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I took the course. I studied January. Well, they didn't open it up till like March, but I registered and I promised myself that's what I was gonna do. And this is funny. After I registered for that exam, February, my mom got sick. Like we have to go emergency and all that. I thought I lost her. I thought I was gonna lose
Wow.
my mom. It was really bad. I said, devil is a lie.
Yes, he
Here I
is.
am.
Yes, he is.
Here I am. And I'm getting ready, trying to learn how to type, use the computer, do all this stuff so I could take this exam, give myself 6 months. And the poor lady, she was like, oh my God, oh, I'm causing you so much problem. Here you are trying to do this
Oh,
exam and I'm sick and I'm in the hospital and you're with me. I said, you don't even want to go there. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have made it to be here as
right.
with my JD. So you've done so much. I'll give my exam up for you. So got to the point where she has to be watched. I have to be home. I have to take FMLA. So we're going through that, and then COVID hit. He's blessing in disguise somehow. So COVID hit, and then we mandated to everybody to work from home. So I didn't have to have somebody watch her or go to work, all that stuff. So I stayed home with her, and then I worked from home, and then it was easy because I didn't have to go to parties. I didn't have to feel like guilty for not going anywhere. There's no guilt because everybody was home. So
Right.
that's why I say it's a blessing in disguise. So I'll just sign up, do my job, and then once I get off work, I took a little nap, and then it was time to do my school stuff, and that's what I was doing. And my mom was here, so I didn't have to worry about her because I'm seeing her. She's sitting here while I'm studying, so it kind of worked out.
Right.
And that July exam, they said they were gonna cancel it. I was like, you're not canceling this exam.
I'm ready for this one. This one is mine.
This is my, I'm not,
This one is mine.
they had all kinds of meetings. I tuned in and I was like, we're taking this exam. I don't know how we're gonna take it, but I'm taking it. Anyway, so at the end of the day, they postponed it to September, and then September turned into October. So that's me buying more time. I was like, this is good for me because I need more time
Right.
to finish the courses that I was taking. And I finished that course. I did 100%. They said if you do 75%, you're in good shape. I said, I don't care about 75%. I'm gonna take it all. I did 100% of it. Even when I finished, they said I'm done. I'm like, there's more multiple choices. There's certain things here that where's the boxes?
I need to do them. I need to take them. I need every last one of them.
Because I don't want any 1 more percent of passing. Like, oh, if you had, no, I'm taking it all. I pay for this and I will take it all as long as I had the time. And that's exactly what I did. I took every little stuff of that course. I took them all, 100%. All the boxes says 100%, all of them.
Right.
So that's what I did. And, and then came October, I went and took the test with the mask on. It was horrible.
So how did you feel that day in October when you went to take the test? Was it different from any other time? Did you feel more?
Yeah.
This was
it was different. It was different, but then to me, because when I started prepping for the test, I was prepping for the normal test, not for COVID, not for wearing masks, not for, being, watched over the camera, none of that. I was just like, I'm just gonna take take this course and just take my exam like I always did. But things changed. I'm like, why do we have something else in the midst, which is, the way there's no pen, you couldn't write, everything was done online. And I'm not the one to type. So as they changed things, I was practicing whatever the changes were. I said, I will not have an excuse. If you guys say there's no pen, I have to have 3 screens on the computer. I have my daughters to show me how to do it. And I was practicing with that. Put on my pen, I trashed them. They said no pencil, no highlight, everything they said the exam was gonna be modeled after, that's what I did when I was practicing. So I was ready. I'm not ready, but I was like trying. I didn't want to have.
No, you were ready. There was so much preparation that went into this COVID-19 law exam.
Oh,
just so much,
it was
Evelyn.
so much. It was so
It was
much.
too much.
And then if you were to take it and then you get up to use the bathroom, you were going to be in trouble. I was like, let me just go into the center where people could see me. And I need to see a proctor so they could see me. I don't want any excuses not to, like,
Yeah.
oh, you cheated. I didn't want that. So I went in and they saw me and they said, okay, have to wear your mask. You sit here, we sit there. I said, yes. And then, wearing your mask and typing. It was horrible.
It was, but look, well, as the preacher say, but. That day.
God said it was time, and that's why I passed it. God said it was time because I had every bad thing that could have happened. It was like, what is this? If it
Oh,
wasn't one thing, it's something else. If it was, I fixed this thing so I could take this prep course for six months to take the exam under normal circumstances. And now COVID hit. Now I have to take it differently, which is something new. And I'm competing with these young people that just type like this and everything is quick. I said, but I'm not even going to listen to that because I'm going to keep practicing because some of them give up, some of them didn't take it, and some people didn't. I said, I'm taking this exam. If I fail, then this is not the first time. I'm used to failing, so I'm not going to give up. I'll do my best, I mean, what else is new?
I've been here, done that.
It wasn't new to me. So I said, it's always going to be something that, they throw something else, and this is another hurdle.
So how
what
did
was I
you feel
supposed to
that
do?
day when you walked out?
Well, for me, it was like 3 or 4 days exam. How many days? Because it was stretched out. I had some health issues. I have carpal tunnels, glaucoma. I have all health issues. So they have to spread it out for me. Before they didn't, but they ended up spreading it out so that I'm not sitting to like 8 hours in one place. So instead of 8 hours, it was like 4 hours or so at a time. So each day I went in and I did my thing. I didn't think about what happened. Because when you start thinking, which sometimes it happens, I'm like, oh, did I say this? Oh, maybe I should have written this. Oh, I forgot to say actual. Oh, I have to restrain myself because once you concentrate on what you didn't do, then you can't do well the next day.
Right. Go ahead.
So I tried to block it up. It was still there, but I fought it. So the last day, I was like, I'm glad it's done. I'm going home to my bed because I stayed in a hotel. I have to leave home for 4 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and my kids always say, my baby always say, how did he go? I said, I don't know. She goes, you have to have confidence, Mom. I said, if I say I have confidence, then I don't pass, then I'm mad. So I don't know. I'm just going to see what happened. Like always.
So how long did it take you from the time that you took the test to find out whether you passed or not?
So the exam was taken October, November, December, January, like 4 months. 4 months. We get the result in January 8th to be exact.
So it came in the mail?
No. Have to sign online at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Each time they release it, you'd go online and check it. And I stopped checking, but this time.
Were you by yourself?
No, my daughter, because it's like everybody knew, everybody knows like when the exam comes out. My kids will always like look at me that day to see if I check, and I stop checking. They will check it because it's always available to the public on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
But for the test takers, it takes, the students they could check it on a Friday, and then by Sunday, anybody could go check and put your name to see if you're there.
Okay, so take us to that Friday.
So that Friday, I worked that day, which I was happy with because that kept me busy. I like to be distracted on the day that it comes out.
Like you were really working. You was at work saying,
I'm always, so I thank God that I worked because if I didn't work, I wouldn't know. I'd probably go shopping, but there was nowhere to go. I mean, COVID, I was stuck at the house. So, so after I got off work, my daughter is like, okay, I have a friend who I kind of study with over the phone this time. She's in the same position as me. She's been taking it longer than I have, if that tells you anything. So both of us were like, complimenting each other, help each other out. So she told me, she said she was going to check it, that she was confident that she was going to pass. I was like, oh. She goes, you should check it. I said, I don't know. So at 6 o'clock, maybe 6:05, she calls me. She says, I passed. You should check it.
The pressure's on.
Yes. she told me to check it. And my daughter is like, are you gonna check? I said, no. She goes, Mom, I think you should check it. I said, I don't want to check it. So I had all the excuses not to check it. I'm like, oh, maybe I should go eat, or maybe I should take a shower, or maybe this. What if I don't pass? You know, my brain was going everywhere. And then finally, my daughter, she was supposed to go somewhere. She's like, come on, Mom. I said, this is like a, deja vu, because the day we opened her exam, I was going out and she had to go check the exam. Now she's going out and she wants to go check the exam. I said, oh. So anyway, I finally said, okay. And I went, sat on my computer. They were all lingering around. I have 2 kids here. My oldest and the baby are in the house. My second daughter, the one that posted it, that, she was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other son is in college. So he was at school. So they just like hanging around, like, I didn't know what they were doing, but all I know is that I had to go open this, check. And I didn't know how to check because I don't normally check. My daughter, Mother, my daughter is like, just get that card they gave you on the exam day. I said, I know, I don't even know where's that. So I found it and I started plugging in numbers. I said, you know what, it's not working. So I just got into my profile and then I'm looking, I don't know where to look. And I look down, it says passed. I said, pass, what's that? Because I don't know if you meant, because there's other things you're supposed to have passed. You're supposed to pass your moral character and you're supposed to pass your MPRE. I passed those 2 already. I mean, those are like clear. The only thing that was holding me was this license.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know if that's what I'm looking at or something else. So I looked again, it says October 2020. I was like, October 2020 passed. Could this mean I passed the exam? So I yelled out to my daughter. I called her, I said, Sashima, come here. I don't know, I don't understand this. It says pass, I'm not sure what it's saying. And so she rushed in and she looked, she goes, you passed. I said, I did. I said, I passed.
Evelyn, pass.
So as soon as I said that, my little one, she loves her she videotapes everything. So they started recording. They got the other two on the video call. And as I'm running around, they were recording me for 2 hours. I went ballistic. I went crazy. And they were on the phone.
Yeah, when I saw the video on Facebook, there was this hollering and shouting and celebrating, and I was like, "Oh my God!" But then, like I said, at that time, I was thinking 10 times, and now you're saying more than 10 times. So they should have just turned the whole.
No, the exam was like 9 years. It took me 9 years from graduating from law school to passing the bar. So that's 9 years. But the exam, how many times I took it was more than 10 times. I stopped counting at 10.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I've never seen so much persistence. Even with the faith, I don't know how you did it, but I'm glad you did it. It was meant for you. I mean, it was the only thing that's meant for you. So are you working now as a lawyer?
No, I'm still at my old job. And what I do is I do like a special appearance if I can, just on the side, just to get a little bit idea, trying to get a little experience. There you go. See, I can't even think anymore. Yes, so I'm trying. And like I said, I'm writing a book, so I'm trying to finish certain things before I can immerse myself into.
So is your book about your journey?
Yes.
Oh.
It's gonna go into detail about everything, the exam, the journey from just like we talked about today. Yes, but the book is supposed to have been done, but there's other things in between. It's never.
You like to stretch things out, Evelyn. Okay.
I like to take I don't like to rush things, and then if it's like my dad. I'm my dad's child. Everything my dad has, like, diabetic, I'm pre-diabetic now. So I try to not stretch myself and push myself because I don't want to go through the same path of stress.
Right.
So what I do is if something is like too pressing, I try to take my time. So I know that I need to do X, Y, and Z. I'm taking my time, and I was supposed to have finished the book, but instead of stressing about it, I said, okay, I'm going to give myself more time. Right. I know I had a deadline, but there's other things. I just took my mom to the doctor today. So I still have to take care of her. I still have my children. There's things, my baby just graduated from high school and she's going into college, the one that was 2. So
Yeah.
she starts college in the fall. So that's why I say God planned this for me to finish. So the last one is finally starting
So it's
college. And
all
then,
about you now, about you and
see,
mom.
you see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Perfect
what God
timing.
God God had planned. He wouldn't that it has to have been God's planning, because I've done everything and nothing was going on, and until the baby's almost done. And she's like, okay, now you can get your law degree and get your license and go conquer
Do
the
it your
world.
way.
Yes, yes.
Well, Evelyn, it has been a pleasure talking to you. You must keep me updated because you know I want a copy of the book.
Okay, I'll let you
You
know.
know I
Once
want a
a
copy of the book.
couple of months from now, you should be ready. Hopefully, I'm trying to finalize things, and God's willing, no
Take your
more.
time. Take your time.
Yeah.
Because one thing I know, it will get done. I
Yes,
don't
it's
know
almost
when, but I
there.
know it will
So
get
it's
done.
almost done. We're like towards the last chapter, but then after that, then you have to give it some, like some
Yeah.
facelifts and put it together. So I know for sure before the end of the year, but
Good.
I'm hoping like in a couple of months,
Okay.
so that I could be done with it
Yeah.
and put it
Well,
out there.
Evelyn, I have enjoyed talking to you. It has been, I mean, just amazing hearing your story. I'm amazing people, amazing stories. That's what Testify is all about. So we have enjoyed you sharing your story with us and taking out time from your family and your busy schedule to tell us
Oh,
your
that's good. It
story.
was my pleasure. It's a
So
pleasure.
thank you so much. And we would definitely be in touch. So,
Sure.
but right now we're going to end. And like I said, thank you so much for spending time with us. And I wish you love, peace, and joy.